chapel beside the Duke of Edinburgh. Our royal correspondent Nicholas Witchell reports.
It rests on the catafalque, a brightly lit coffin which has become the focus of a nation's sadness. Within the ancient walls of Westminster Hall, so many emotions, so many individual expressions of gratitude and respect. Thousands have already filed through, many tens of thousands more are expected over the weekend. And as the nation mourns, preparations are advancing for Queen Elizabeth's state. On Monday, the first procession will be from the Palace of Westminster to Westminster Abbey. At 10:35, the Queen's coffin will be borne from Westminster Hall. It will be taken in procession via Parliament Square and Broad Sanctuary to the west gate of Westminster Abbey. It will arrive there at 10:52. In the darkness of the early morning, all the elements are being meticulously rehearsed. The finishing touches to plans drawn up over many years. The procession to the massed pipes and drums of all the Scottish and Irish regiments in the British Army. And this is the most visible sign that this is to be a full state funeral, the like of which we haven't seen in Britain since Winston Churchill's in 1965. The state gun carriage will be drawn by 150 Royal Naval ratings rather than by horses. Inside Westminster Abbey will be a congregation of 2,000. Among them, heads of state, including the US President Joe Biden, with heads of government and representatives from virtually every country in the world. At approximately 11:55, the last post will sound, and there will be a national 2-minute silence. Then, the procession from Westminster Abbey to Wellington Arch. The state gun carriage will be drawn from the Abbey around Parliament Square, up Whitehall and across Horse Guards, and then via the Mall, past Buckingham Palace, and finally up Constitution Hill to Wellington Arch at Hyde Park Corner. There, under Wellington Arch, the coffin will be transferred from the gun carriage to the state hearse, ready for the journey to Windsor. The route to be taken from Hyde Park Corner to Windsor hasn't so far been disclosed. However, officials recognise the need for the public to be as closely involved as possible.
The Queen and indeed other members of the royal family, particularly Prince Philip, when he was alive, took a close interest in this to try and make sure that it combined the dignity of the occasion, the formality of the occasion, with as much access as possible for people to see the coffin in close quarters.
The final element of the funeral plan will see the hearse travelling up the Long Walk at Windsor, then into the castle's main quadrangle, and then down the slope to St. George's Chapel. Inside the chapel, at 4 o'clock, the committal service will begin. At the end of it, the instruments of state, the monarch's crown and the orb and sceptre, will be removed from the coffin, and later, in a private service, the Queen's coffin will be laid to rest with that of her late husband. Nicholas Witchell, BBC News.
Well, the queue to file past the Queen lying in state is now stretching back more than 4.5 miles along the south bank of the River Thames from Westminster Hall, reaching beyond. Correspondent Lucy Manning has been with those waiting to pay their respects.
Well, the people behind me who are waiting for about 6 to 7 hours from the back of the queue, the wait is 8 hours. Of course, the destination is a somber one, but if it's not too strange to say, actually the journey most people are having is a joyful one. That is, get to the steps of Westminster Hall. It's the long and winding road to Westminster Hall, stretching miles through the capital. It is glorious. The desire to pay tribute to the Queen can be measured in people standing shoulder to shoulder for more than 4 miles. Some journeys even longer than just the queue here. Becky from Ayrshire took the overnight bus from Glasgow.
Went to Victoria Station at about 10 to 7, and I've just been queuing since then. Managed to get down the queue, and I'll get a bus back tonight.
So why have you made this massive journey?
I do it. I love the Queen, and I just wanted to come down and she's just like a gran, I suppose. Without knowing her, you feel like you do know her.
After nearly 6 hours, Becky was overcome by her moment by the coffin.
It kind of hit you in that moment that's it, Billy. I'm gonna be a bit emotional. That is sad, but it's something that I'll never forget. I'm so glad.
It is an effort, more of an experience. Joy left Manchester at 5 a.m, joining the queue at 9.
It's absolutely amazing. The camaraderie is just something that you can't put into words unless you're in this queue. You actually feel it. It's great. We're not sure how many more hours there are to go. We feel that we're near, but I think we're far.
Many hours later,
Spine-chilling in the aura that was in there, and the sheer magnificence and beauty of the late Majesty's coffin, but to actually be there in the here and the now, I can't believe that me and my friends have done that.
17-year-old Kabir feeling the 6 hours of waiting and walking.
How long have you been queuing for this one?
Since 8:30.
How's it been?
Long, I'm tired, but I get to see the Queen. Yeah, because it's like once in a lifetime moment. This is probably going to be the last Queen.
This part of the queue
Hello.
is opposite St Paul's, but officials
link
will need to decide
for the
at the
online.
weekend
You can watch it anywhere in the world.
to ensure that all those who are still in it get the
I know,
chance
but
to
not
file
happy
past
for
the Queen's coffin before the line in state ends. Inside, we are witnessing simple acts of remembrance and respect. Whether you held the highest office in the land or just work in one, everyone has their moment. A salute, a tear, a kiss, silent thoughts about the Queen. Lucy Manning, BBC News.
Disabled people or those with a long-term condition, which means they can't queue for a long time, can join an accessible queuing system so they can still pay their respects in person. Our correspondent Sean Dilley has more.
The start of the journey. This is where many disabled people are signing up to pay their respects to the Queen.
So I suffer from autism, ADHD, and Tourette.
Jenny from Cheshire. It's a visit made possible thanks to this system.
I'm a big royalist, so I really wanted. So when I've seen this queue, it was like, we're coming down. We made the decision like yesterday, and that was it.
So grateful, very, very grateful.
Pam has travelled from Edinburgh to collect her wristband.
It's been lovely. We didn't think we were going to be able to do it. I couldn't have done that without this help.
So this literally makes
Totally. I'm thrilled to bits that we're going to be able to do it.
Jenny, her daughter, and retired guide dog Andy have come to pay their respects too.
We were told it was going to be hours and hours, so we're very pleased to know there's this access queue, which has cut the time down hugely, I think.
From here, people are given a time slot and told where to join the accessible queue. It's taken me just over 10 minutes to walk a half mile from the registration point here to the Palace of Westminster. People from both queues are entering the security point into Westminster Hall, where Her late Majesty is lying in state. Around 2 hours after we first spoke, Jenny and her family have arrived at Westminster Hall. Their progress has been considerably quicker than for those who were able to stand in the main queue. For those who were unable to queue for long periods, appreciation.
It was great. Yeah, it's kind of run smoothly. It's harder for people like us. It's harder for people who are disabled to do it. So it's nice to have that option.
But actually, it was very good, wasn't it?
Out of 10, how inclusive and accessible do you think today was?
Definitely 10 out of 10, as far as I'm concerned. It was very moving as well as we were there, you know.
Yeah, there were no steps involved and no bridges, things to get. So it was great. Yeah, it was really good.
It's a system that seems to be running smoothly so far. If it continues this way, it can allow thousands of disabled people who may otherwise miss the opportunity to pay their respects in person. Sean Dilley, BBC News.
Well, this is the government's live page with the latest update on the queue. You can see it is currently around 4.5 miles long, and the estimated queuing time is about 8 hours. If you can't get to London and you do want to pay your respects, the BBC is offering a continuous 24-hour view of the Queen's lying in state. So the service is available on the BBC homepage, on the BBC News website, and at the iPlayer and on BBC.
What for what? £4.
What?
I've actually
The time is
watched
6:40.
TV.
Our top stories this
Something to
evening.
do.
Prince and Princess of
Okay,
Wales
come now,
well
hit
wishes
too
at
hot now.
Sandringham.
I did. It's off. It's turned off.
A set out.
I'll go and check it, but it was
And
turned
coming
off.
up
They
with
turned it
memories
right
of
there.
the Queen at Chelsea Flower Show and the Royal
Oh,
Roll.
Chelsea flowers, though. Oh,
Not this time of year.
And stay with us here on BBC News, where
Not
we will
me,
bring
you
you
go to
continuing
I
coverage
won't spend
of
any
events
money.
plus
now. Never
analysis from our team of correspondents in the UK and around the world.
that's the sad place.
Walk to us.
Okay.
The tennis great Roger Federer, one of the most successful players of all time, has announced that he is retiring at the age of 41. He turned professional in 1998 and became a Grand Slam champion no fewer than 20 times, among them a record 8 times. But in the past few years, he has struggled with a knee injury, and next week he'll play his